Today, we're exploring Real de La Quinta, one of the most interesting developments I've seen in Marbella in the last 5 years. And I want to show you why. This is a 200-hectare resort, still being built, with a man-made lake and beach for water sports, a spa, a wellness center, fine dining restaurant, a 5-star hotel, golf course, hiking trails, concierge, all within a gated, secure community, with panoramic sea views and award-winning sustainable living in a UNESCO-protected area.
The resort is being developed by La Quinta Grupo Inmobiliario, the same developer who built and shaped the La Quinta Golf urbanization over the past 30 years.
This isn't a compromise on location, it's a strategic choice. And over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why some of the most informed buyers in Marbella are looking at this area very differently than they did 3 years ago. I'm Oscar Lindahl from MP Dunn Properties and Hamptons International, and today we're joined by my colleague Axel Pfaender, who not only sells in Real de La Quinta, he lives here. We're going to walk through each development in the resort, from Romero at 1.3 million euros to custom villa plots at 6 million euros plus, and give you the honest insight you need to decide if this is right for you. So Axel, for someone who's never been here before, who's watching this, where are we?
Well, Oscar, we are in Benahavís. We are directly north of La Quinta Golf. If you know Marbella, that is essentially the natural extension of La Quinta hillside, but on a much larger scale. We're talking about 200 hectares, roughly 2 million square meters of mountainside terrain. Huge. The key thing to understand here is positioning. We are 15 minutes to Puerto Banús. We are 20 minutes to Marbella Center. But we are at an elevation. Most properties here sit between 200 and 350 meters above sea level, which is what gives you the great views.
That new road that everyone's talking about, how's that going to change things?
Well, that is going to change things significantly. Right now, the access is via La Quinta Golf Road, which is fine, but it can be slow. The new access will create a direct connection to Nueva Andalusia, and that's going to cut travel 30 to 40% at least. And more importantly, it removes any psychological distance. You'll feel as connected as Nueva Andalusia, but with better views and better value.
But let's be honest, I mean, we're not beachfront here. So for someone who's wanting to be in a beachfront area and wanting to be on the beach every day, this isn't going to be the right area for them, right?
Correct. If your lifestyle is centered on beach clubs and you want to be there on foot, look at the Golden Mile, look at Los Monteros, or even look at Estepona. But that's what I tell clients. If you're already driving 10 minutes to the beach from Sierra Blanca or Nueva Andalusia, what's the difference between 10 and 15 minutes? The question is, it's not how close you are to the beach, it's how you actually live. Do you go to the beach every single day, or do you go twice a week? Most people, honestly, go less than what they think they will. What matters the most is your daily lifestyle. And this is why this area wins.
All right, well, we're just arriving, so let's see what the daily environment is like. So, this is what makes Real de La Quinta different than any other development in Marbella. Axel, tell us, what we're looking at here?
This isn't a single development, it's a master plan. Think of it like Soto Grande in the mountains. 7 distinct residential projects, each by the same developer, but with different architects and different characters. Then you have the infrastructure. The lake we're looking at now, a Lago Club, which is the amenity hub, a 6-hole golf course, and the Angsana Real de La Quinta hotel. What you're seeing is actually a 10-year vision that is about halfway through completion.
Walk me through the distribution. How is every development distributed here?
Starting from the left, that's Romero. Only 28 apartments, featuring contemporary design, starting from around 1.3 million. Up to the east, that's Mimosas. There are only 35 apartments in total. They're split into 2 phases. This is special because every single apartment has its own private pool, in addition to the communal pool. The ground floor villa apartments are unique. You get a lower level that functions like a basement in a villa, perfect for a gym, a cinema, or even a wine cellar. And then higher up on the hillside, you've got Enebros and Sabinas. These are the higher elevations, so the views get even better. Now, construction is underway on both. and pricing starts around 1.8 million. If you look at the very top of the hill, Vista Lago is a collection of 18 custom villas starting at 6.9 million. And then if you look on the other side, you're looking at Olivos, Quercus and Palmitos, 3 residences, 3 complexes, and they basically set the style for Real de La Quinta.
So if I'm a buyer, what's the strategic thinking here?
It really depends on your priorities. Romero is your entry point. Good value, great specifications. Now, Mimosas will be my personal recommendation. The private pools are a game changer. The villa apartments give you the space you don't get that on hillside developments. Enebros and Sabinas are your premium options, higher elevation, better views, and you are closer to the hotel and the future commercial area. Then you have Vista Lago, a gated community within a gated community, and the view is spectacular. The thing is, when you are an early buyer in a master plan like this, understanding the vision and seeing it before the mainstream means your returns will be higher.
And that hotel?
The Angsana Real de La Quinta Hotel. 88 rooms, 3 restaurants, spa, kids club is confirmed. Once that's operational, this stops being a residential development and it becomes a destination. And that's the inflection point for property values.
The lake here is really the centerpiece to everything around here. We're talking about 35,000 square meters of lake and a sandy beach. Axel, am I right? This is man-made, right?
Correct. That's a man-made lake with a water control system. It's only for non-motorized water sports. Imagine like kayaking, paddleboarding, swimming by the beach area. As you can see, the lake is pretty finished. The beach is about to be completed. And then there is a Lago Club.
So a Lago Club, that's the restaurant?
Exactly, a water restaurant. That is going to have not only an amazing restaurant, but also a spa, a 25-meter indoor pool, boutiques. So imagine being here in the winter, surrounded by mountains and views. That makes a difference, especially in the winter.
Mentioning winter, considering the weather, do you think we're inland enough that there's going to be a different climate as such?
Absolutely. We are at an elevation here, so you're looking at 2 to 3 degrees less in the winter, but you're also looking at 2 to 3 degrees less in the summer and a much cooler breeze. So being surrounded by the mountains, you probably enjoy the summer here a lot more than by the beach.
Can imagine. Okay, nice. And also, I mean, there is everything around us. It's a UNESCO biospheric sphere or something like this.
Exactly.
I haven't got the term right.
We are in a protected area. UNESCO has put its stamp. We are in a fantastic biosphere.
Lovely. And regarding hiking trails, I've heard there's some trails around here.
Exactly. Well, just tell me, where else can you drive for 2 to 3 minutes and go to one of the best trails? There's actually one that takes you all the way to Sierra de las Nieves, and I have it on my doorstep. Can you do that in Los Monteros?
Not really.
Not really, no?
No, definitely.
And there is also a 6-hole golf.
Wow. All right, so the pitch is live in nature, but you still have all the amenities.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, well, on that note, let's take it back to the office and we're going to go through all the renders from each development one by one and do a deep dive. Before we go through each development in detail, I want to cover the BREEAM certification. This is critical to all the developments here. BREEAM is a globally established sustainable standard certified by a third party. It credits buildings and master plans to perform environmentally optimally over time. That means water recycling, energy efficient building systems, native landscaping, smart irrigation, and construction practices that minimize environmental impact. Real de La Quinta is actually the first residential master plan in Spain to receive a BREEAM certification for urban infrastructure. All right, let's walk through Romero. Axel, this is the most recent development and the most accessible on the price point. Walk us through it.
Sure. Romero is 28 apartments across 4 rise buildings, 3 floors, each with ground floor garden apartments, mid-floor units, and penthouses on top. You have 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom configurations. As of today, there are 5 units remaining out of the 28. Pricing starts at 1.3 million for a 3-bedroom first-floor unit with just over 230 square meters. going up to 1.5 million for a 2-bedroom penthouse solarium with around 340 square meters. The remaining units are all 3-bedroom, ranging from 1.3 to 1.5 with around 230, 240 square meters. And honestly, this shows the high desirability in the area.
You mentioned before the finishes are different. What exactly are we not getting at this price point?
Great question. See, you're not getting bolt-up designer kitchens. You will still get the full meal appliance packages throughout. Gas fireplaces aren't included as standard, but they can be added. The main difference is Romero focuses on delivering solid quality at a better price point.
Got it. Well, let's talk about the actual spaces. What are the specs?
Okay, ceiling height is 275 in living areas, which is generous and creates that sense of space, as you know. Floor-to-ceiling glass on terrace side for maximum light and those panoramic views.
You can add the private pools to the
Garden level.
To the garden level, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Even there's no unit now, unfortunately, on the garden level.
Yep, buyers were very quick.
Yeah, definitely. Romero, it's south-southeast facing, correct?
Absolutely. Most units, yes, 100%. So you get sun throughout the most of the day and those exceptional sunset views. At night, you see the lights of Marbella and Puerto Banús along the coast. And most importantly, it's protected. Nothing can be built in front of you, ever.
What about the security?
The whole resort of Real de La Quinta has gated entry with 24-hour security. Then Romero, like each development, has its own perimeter fencing and controlled access. So you're effectively double gated.
What would you say makes Romero unique compared to the other developments in the master plan?
I would say the obvious, price.
Yeah, right?
The price entry point. But apart from that, you also get 3 exclusive communal platforms. A gym, a co-working space, and a third platform designed purely for relaxation with views. These are only for Romero residents, not shared with the wider resort.
Makes sense. And when it comes to the construction timeline, what are we looking at?
Well, construction will be commencing this year. Completion is expected around 2028.
Moving to Mimosas. Now, Axel, you mentioned this is one of your favorites. Let's go through it.
Absolutely. First, every single apartment, all 35 of them, has its own private pool, in addition to large communal pools with saltwater treatment. Second, the ground floor villa garden apartments are genuinely unique in Marbella's apartment market, with total built areas from 315 square meters into a 2-bedroom unit to just under 400 square meters in the larger 3-bedroom configurations. In these units, your main living level is on the ground floor with direct garden access and your private pool, plus a lower leisure level that's essentially like having a villa basement. We're talking about a flexible multi-purpose space that you can configure however you want.
I mean, that really makes it interesting. So, I mean, basically you're getting kind of like a villa standard that you normally would pay 3-4 million for, but you're looking actually more like in the below 2.5 million range, right?
Exactly. And crucially, you're still in a master plan with all the resort amenities, professional management, double-gated security, and none of the villa maintenance responsibilities. The first floor apartments are more traditional layout, but still premium. Spacious open-plan living, generous terraces, private pools, and exceptional views across the coast. You have the pool on one level, above the living area, and we're looking at 360 square meters for a 3-bedroom unit, up to 470 square meters for a 4-bedroom unit. These are significantly large apartments. At the very top, you have the super penthouses, which include outdoor showers and separate bathroom facilities on the solarium level.
All right, so phase 1 and 2, what are the differences?
Well, Oscar, phase 1 is 3 buildings with 15 apartments. Phase 2 is 4 buildings with 20 apartments. Both phases have identical quality standards. The only real difference is phase 1 sits slightly higher on a hillside, so marginally better elevation and views, obviously.
On the finishes, what sets Mimosas apart?
Well, the kitchen alone tells you everything. I mean, Mimosas gets bolt-up kitchens as standard. You still get full meal appliance packages, but it's a bolt-up cabinetry and design that really elevates it. Bathroom uses Jesse fixtures throughout, with freestanding Duravit bathtubs, ceiling-mounted rain showers, and double vanities.
And the architect? It's Pablo Villarroel, right?
Absolutely. And that's the gem. Pablo Villarroel is the principal architect on Mimosas and continues his late father's iconic design philosophy. Famous for some of Marbella's landmark developments like Puerto Romero, for example. Pablo's design here follows what they call architecture of empty space. The philosophy that the landscape areas and open spaces are as important as the built volumes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've seen that a lot as well with La Morera. That whole development has the Pablo Villarroel signature. I mean, you can see it's done by him. And one of the things I really like about his designs as well, if you look in Puerto Romano, and when you go into the bathrooms, you have this mosaic around the bathrooms that you get natural light through. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's a hint, a nod towards the Moroccan, Arabian culture, which we've inherited here in the south of Spain, right? And Pablo always holds on to that, even in the modern developments, which is a quite nice thing. I mean, okay, we're not seeing it here in Mimosas, but we are seeing a lot of the other elements, of course, from Pablo Villarroel, and personally, I'm a massive fan.
So am I, 100%.
And Mimosas has uninterrupted views?
Absolutely. The entire Real de La Quinta resort is planned so buildings step down the hillside in a cascading arrangement. This means even ground floor Villa Garden apartments have clear views over the rooftops below them. From Mimosas, you're looking south to the Mediterranean coastline, and you have views across the Eastern Lake too. Let's not forget about that. It's an exceptionally rare combination of viewpoints from a single location.
Who do you think would be the ideal buyer for Mimosas?
Several profiles come to mind, and this can apply to all of Real de La Quinta developments. These will be golf enthusiasts. We're near La Quinta Golf, Los Naranjos, Aloha, Las Brisas, you name it. We're right in the middle of the Golf Valley. Not forgetting the 6-hole golf course for more casual play within the community, right on your doorstep. But frankly, this development is most appealing for anyone that wants a private pool in their apartment.
Makes sense. And on construction timeline, what are we looking at?
Well, both phases have the building license now. So construction of the base platform is already on the way, with the structures going into construction this year, so the estimated completion will be 2028. We're not too far.
So moving up the elevation to Enebros and Sabinas, these are the highest residential apartments in the resort. What changes at this elevation?
Well, two main advantages: expanded panoramic views and proximity to the future Angsana hotel. You're looking across the entire resort, the Mediterranean coastline stretching from Marbella to Estepona. On clear days, you see across to Morocco and the Strait of Gibraltar. The second advantage is the location relative to the hotel. Once the Angsana Hotel is operational with its amenities, you're practically within walking distance. This hotel, built by Real de La Quinta, it will be actually managed by the Banyan Tree Group, which is the second hotel group in the world.
Wow. Yeah, no, I remember when you first told me about Real de La Quinta, and actually we went up with Michael from Bright to see Vista Lago, which we'll cover later. I was really blown away. I mean, I found it very, very interesting at first, but then when we sat down and explained everything, I was just like, wow, actually this is like something you'd see in Dubai.
Exactly.
But it's awesome to see it coming to Marbella, and especially that whole thing with the man-made lake, which is like,
wow.
I know. Let's differentiate between the two. Now, Enebros is slightly higher in elevation, and some of the finishes are one step up from Sabinas.
Exactly. Both designed by Pablo Villarroel with the same organic curved architecture we discussed with Mimosas. Enebros is 48 apartments in total, across two phases. You've got 3-bedroom ground floors with private gardens and pools, first floor 3-bedroom apartments classified as penthouses, and 3-bedroom super penthouses with solariums and pools at the top. Some larger units are 3-bedroom plus 1, meaning 3 double bedrooms and 1 single bedroom for your guests. Sabinas follows the same structure, but Sabinas is sold out. Enebros Phase 2 still has availability. Ground floor units with gardens from 1.9 million to super penthouses at 2.4 million. Now, if you look at the prices of Mimosas, they're higher. So Enebros is still in a very good price point.
No, definitely. Because I mean, it's supposed to be one step up, right, from Mimosas.
Exactly. Better views.
And also you're more central in the whole, let's say, heart. And here's something worth acknowledging. When these developments were first released, there was a market skepticism, right? About whether people would actually pay those prices to be up there. But Enebros Phase 1 sold faster than projected. Sabinas sold out, and it's held the value. The market really validated the concept.
Exactly. And speaking of validation, Olivos and Quercus were the proof of concept phases. They launched first, sold out, delivered on time, and residents are living there already now.
So going back to Enebros and Sabinas, what about the construction and timeline?
Well, both phases of Enebros and both from Sabinas are all under construction now. So expected completion is late 26, early 27. So we're nearly there.
Now, there's one more development in the Real de La Quinta area that sits apart from everything else we discussed. Vista Lago. Axel, this is a different developer, a different concept. Would you walk us through it?
Yes, absolutely. Vista Lago is developed by Bright. These are 18 individually designed villas. Each villa is genuinely unique. Different interior design, different furniture. You essentially pick the villa whose aesthetics speak to you the most, you know? Vista Lago sits on the highest villa plots in the entire Real de La Quinta area. So it's like on a separate hill, even higher than in elevation than Enebros and Sabinas. From here, you're looking down over the lake, the golf course, the resort amenities, and across to the Mediterranean coastline. The views are exceptional.
What are the specifications?
You're looking at 3 to 4 ensuite bedroom villas with substantial built areas. Inside, the build sizes range from 484 to 534 square meters. Total built, including terraces and basement, runs from 607 to 756 square meters. So they're quite large. Plot sizes vary dramatically, okay? We go from 1,100 square meters to even 10,000 square meters on the largest plots. Every villa includes a fully finished, customized basement, of course. You have open cinema, gym, wine cellar, office, spa, whatever configuration suits your lifestyle. And for the larger 4-floor villas, there is a lift installed as standard as well. Now, the pools are infinity pools. Sizes range from 56 to 116 square meters with pre-installation for heating systems included.
And you mentioned each villa is unique. What does that actually mean in practice?
Yes, well, the architecture and interior design are by Udesign Artwork Studio, working with Gonzalez and Jacobson for technical execution. They don't just design the villas, they manufacture bespoke furniture in their own factory. It's custom designed specifically for that property. See, when you're buying in Vista Lago, you have the option to purchase all the furniture, the fittings, the decorations exactly as designed. Walk in, everything is ready, turnkey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you don't want to go with the bespoke design from Udesign, let's say, you want to do your own thing, you
Absolutely.
can, right?
Total freedom, yes.
Got it.
The goal is that you get the villa that is for you.
Mm-hmm. And it's really smartly done how they've managed to maximize on the plot.
Exactly.
To get the most out of it. And from what I understand as well, they really looked at making the structure of the property to benefit the views as much as possible for each plot, right?
Totally. And as you know, I live in Real de La Quinta.
Exactly.
And I can follow up the construction every single day. Mm-hmm. And it's so nice to start seeing some interiors and exteriors starting to take shape. And it's looking really, really amazing.
Yeah, no, I think this everything is going to change there in the next 2 years.
Yep.
It'll be a complete different place.
Absolutely.
So for Vista Lago, what would you say is the signature design feature?
Well, it's got to be the disappearing glass. Floor-to-ceiling windows that slide back completely into the walls. I mean, when open, the living area and terrace become a continuous space with no physical barrier. The window frames are extremely thin, so even when closed, there is minimal obstruction between you and the view.
On the technical aspect of the villas, what are they coming with?
Well, the villas are delivered fully completed. Kitchens come with all appliances installed, the bathrooms with full sanitary ware, comprehensive home automation controlling lighting, heating, cooling, security, all integrated. Underfloor heating throughout all the main living areas, and ventilation with heat recovery, air conditioning systems, everything is installed and operational. And let's not forget the BREEAM certification, eh?
That's true. That's very true. So that, yeah, because they have that as well. How does Vista Lago fit into the Real de La Quinta system?
Vista Lago itself is a private gated community within that larger resort. You get the resort benefits without being part of the main master plan development. And the trade-off is that you're responsible for villa maintenance, garden staff, pool upkeep, property management. So you don't have the same turnkey convenience of the apartments, but you have complete control over your space and absolute privacy on your own plot.
So how is it looking on the delivery timeline?
The villas are already under construction. The completion for most of the villas is expected by this year and coming into 2027 as well.
Now, on the availabilities, what are we looking at?
So as we said, 18 villas, 10 have been sold, 3 have been reserved. So really, there is only 5 villas available.
At this time?
At this time, exactly. Starting price is around 6,350. The average price is around 6.97 million, but the last one is expected to be around 10 million as well.
Wow.
Yes, but we don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking basically, this is more of a comparisons, it's more like, not Zagaleta, it's different to Zagaleta.
It is.
But Madronal.
Yep.
More that kind of level in a sense.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah. So now let's go on to the other villa plots outside of Vista Lago.
Yep.
There's also the plots available for sale by Real de La Quinta themselves, which are part of the master plan, correct? They're just sold as plots without the project. You can do as you kind of want, right?
Exactly. You see, as soon as the 2 million square meters of Real de La Quinta started to be developed in terms of projects, they decided to destine at least 35 plots to individuals that wanted to build their own villas, you know? Currently, you've got individual plots price range from 1.3 to 2 million euros, okay? Ranging from 1,600 to 2,000 square meters. These current available plots all have a total build size of 380 square meters. Construction costs for a high quality villa range from 3,000 to 4,500 per square meter. So the total project costs would be around 4 million minimum.
Also, these plots come with a platform and retaining walls already in place.
Yes.
Which saves you considerable time and cost on your build. The whole area maintains a unified look thanks to the shared planted boundary walls across all the properties. And you're right next to the hotel, close enough to walk to a Lago Club from here, which, honestly, it's a genuine lifestyle advantage for these plots.
Exactly.
So when you take a step back and look at Real de La Quinta as a whole, the plots, the hotel, the amenities, everything together, that's the bet, right? I mean, early buyers are getting in a good point, but they are depending on the developer's execution delivery.
Yes, this is a medium to long-term play. And let's not forget that this project started 8 years ago. I think it's worth mentioning that the family business behind this, with Real de La Quinta, have decided to be remembered as the creators of the luxury destination of Marbella.
That's very ambitious, but
absolutely,
it's good.
And I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about value and market positioning. Because if you're watching this, you're trying to figure out whether Real de La Quinta even makes sense financially and not just emotionally. Here's the reality. If you're looking at a contemporary, modern 3-bedroom apartment, let's say in Sierra Blanca, with sea views, you're looking at a cost of 2.5 to 3 million euros, possibly more. Los Monteros beachfront, 3 to 4 million for equivalent space and modern, of course. And La Zagaleta for a villa, you can't even find anything under 6 million at this point. Here in Real de La Quinta, you're looking at 1.3 to 2.5 million for a 3-bedroom. You're getting the views, the modern construction, BREEAM certification. The trade-off, of course, is the access. You're not beachfront. You're not as central as Sierra Blanca would be, but you are part of a master plan that's only halfway finished. I'm not going to sit here and promise you 20% annual returns. That's not how real estate works. But if you look at La Quinta property values, over the past 10 years, that's around 250% growth that's happened there. And consider Real de La Quinta is a direct evolution of that area with significant better infrastructure. The logic starts to be clear. For the right buyer, someone who's looking at 5 years plus, who values lifestyle and who can see where this is heading, Real de La Quinta is one of the more intelligent plays right now in Marbella. For someone who wants immediate gratification, maximum coastal proximity, or needs short-term liquidity, look somewhere else. This is a medium to long-term hold. So someone watching this now and thinking, this might be right for them, what's the next step?
Well, obviously, reach out to us directly. We'll arrange a site visit, show you the specific developments that match your criteria. Many units have sold out, but there are still some great units on the market at this time. It's a moving target, and it's going real fast as well.
No, definitely, we can see that. And if someone's not sure,
then no rush. This is a big decision. Come and see in person, spend time in the area, drive the routes to Marbella to Puerto Banús at different times of the day. Get a feel for whatever lifestyle fits you. We're here to advise. We're not here to pressure. There is a property for you. There is the right property for you. We just need to find it.
Exactly. I'm Oscar from MP Done Properties. If you have questions, drop them in the comments, contact us directly. Links are in the description. And remember, when it comes to your home, it's always personal.